I have been asked to share with you a little bit about my role of women in ministry. So I was 25 years old before I first saw a woman standing behind a pulpit and preaching. Her name was Hyveth Williams, and Adrian Craig was the conference president at the time, and I was a brand new pastor's wife. And it was in the Greater Sydney Conference, and I sat in the very front row and my mouth was just open. It was the first time I'd seen a woman preaching. The second time I saw a woman preaching was your very own Carol Ferch Johnson. She officiated at her son's wedding, and her son Andrew married a Polish girl, and we were at the wedding. And then more recently, I've been blessed, our whole family's been blessed by the ministry of Chris Oberg in La Sierra. During the lockdown, our daughters always wanted to listen to Chris. In Scripture, we have this verse, in the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy. As an end-time denomination, we've always affirmed this reality that both men and women are needed to finish the work of God in the world. And I just wanted to share a little bit of history with you. This is Ellen Lane, who is an early pastor and evangelist in our denomination. She's thought to be the first woman to receive a ministerial license in the Adventist Church, and that was in 1875. This is Sarepta Miranda Irish Henry. Imagine a name like that. She was a writer, speaker, and evangelist, and she wrote a lot for the Review and Herald. She was a licensed minister, and she founded women's ministries in our denomination. Here's another one, Margaret Carro. She was an Australian. She was a dentist and a minister. She also held ministerial credentials, and she worked in both Australia and New Zealand. And this is what Ellen Wright wrote about her. I am greatly attached to her. She holds her diploma as dentist and credentials as a minister. Hetti Heard Haskell. She was originally Hetti Heard. She was converted at a camp meeting in 1884 in California. And she had been a teacher. She gave up her teaching position and began 34 years of ministerial work. She also held a ministerial license and was known as a powerful preacher. She later came to Australia and married Stephen N. Haskell, who is a more well-known name in Adventism. So you see, Adventists have always embraced women. One more. This is Lulu Russell Whiteman. We don't know exactly the dates of her life, but we know that she was licensed as a minister in 1897. She was one of the most outstanding evangelists in Adventist history up until this day. She alone single-handedly raised up a total of 17 churches. Remarkable. So, we've always affirmed the importance of both men and women ministering together. And yet the reality is that in Australia, while 55% of our membership is female, only about 10% of our pastors are women. So we've got some work to do in that space. And so what I wanted to do today is just to spend a couple of minutes sharing what you as an individual, as a congregation, can do to empower women for ministry. Number one, intentionally affirm the spiritual gifts of women. If you see a woman in your congregation, whether she be younger or older, who demonstrates the gift of leadership or teaching or preaching or discernment, go out of your way to affirm her. Women don't often see role models. Like for me, I was in my 20s before I saw a woman. I wasn't a child growing up who saw a woman and said, oh, I could do that. It took me a long time and a very roundabout way into ministry. And I just wonder if somebody had said something to me when I was young, you know, this would be something that you would be good at. Maybe I would have got here earlier. Intentionally encourage women to have a voice. If you have a meeting and there are women in the meeting and the women are quiet, encourage them to say something. Women often don't have that same permission, I guess, in social spaces to be able to have a voice. Ensure women are well represented on your board. I don't know what the percentages are here at Foresters Beach, but in a lot of places there are far fewer women than men on boards and committees. So well represented, even if it's just adding one more next time you have a nominating committee. Tell stories about women when you preach and teach. Women hold up half the sky. That's what the Chinese say. Women are half the population. So tell stories about women when you preach and teach. Now this is kind of out there, but you might one day be ready for this. Ask your conference to add a woman to your pastoral team. There are talented female preachers across our division, and they need opportunities to be able to pastor in larger churches like this one. And the last one, encourage appropriate women to explore ministry, Bible teaching, and chaplaincy. There are different ways of ministering, and the women that I represent at SPD are the women pastors, but also the women who are in Bible teaching and chaplaincy. And I came into ministry through a teaching career. So if you see somebody young in your congregation who you think might have some of these gifts, encourage them to explore some of these options. We need more women in our denomination. We need more men in our denomination who are working to finish the work of God. And I believe that together we can do better. Thank you so much.